What is going on, guys? Inside New York Sports Podcast here, and today we're talking about the New York Yankees and a bit of a recap, right? They got done with the road trip, looking at their last 12 games, 10-2 in that span, and they've been very solid. This is the Yankees team that we expected, where the starting pitching does really solid, the offense is there, and the bullpen is able to close games, even though it might be a little bit skeptical, and our defense kind of sells. And then Bednar has to get some key outs, and then he allows a run, and then it gets really tight, especially that one game in Texas where we thought the Yankees were going to potentially blow that, because last year that was a similar situation, or not even really, probably not even last year, probably the year before that with Devin Williams. They would blow that game. But let's get right into it. Last 12 games, 10-2, 7-2 on the road trip, right? Elmer Rodriguez pitched yesterday. I liked his stuff overall. I thought his slider was gross. I thought his, he uses his fastball at a decent amount. He uses his sinker at a decent amount. And then at the end of his outing, he kind of got into some walk trouble, got into a little bit of some trouble, and then Booney ended up pulling him. And they ended up going to Brent Hedrick, I believe. And then, they ended up losing that game. They didn't score any runs on Nathan Eovaldi. That's just what Nathan Eovaldi does. He dominates the New York Yankees, and that's how that game kind of went. But let's start off with the Boston series. We'll break down the Boston series, the Houston series, and obviously the series that just concluded yesterday with the Texas Rangers. Listen, the Boston series, that's a series usually happens in April, but when it comes to a June or something like that, Boston usually gets the better of the Yankees. I don't know why, but usually the Yankees don't play Boston, I think, this early, but they ended up doing that, and they pitched well. I mean, the pitching was excellent. I know Luis Gil got demoted to AAA, but he pitched really solid. He's always had a career against the Boston Red Sox. He has done a phenomenal job against the Boston Red Sox. Outside of them, hasn't been great for Luis Gil. Max Fried continuing to show himself as a potential Cy Young candidate with another solid start. And also Cam Schlittler was good as well. They allowed 3 runs in 3 games. They did awesome. They were awesome. They were running the base paths well. They were fielding well. Cody Bellinger made a few nice plays. The hitting was spectacular. And this is a series that you look forward and you see, hey, we did a good job against an AL East opponent. We got to continue that with Baltimore coming into town on tomorrow. But yeah, overall, solid series for the Yankees. Beating Boston is always a good feeling, and in division is even better. Getting into this Houston series, Will Warren, he has been a player that has been one of my favorites to watch this year. He's got a 2.59 ERA. He pitched 6 innings in their game against the Houston Astros, and that's a team that their record isn't good, but some of their players are playing really well. I mean, Yordan Alvarez, this guy, he's on my fantasy team, so I appreciate what he's done, but he has been a monster this year. He's not striking out that much. His whiff rate is not that high, and he's hitting bombs, and he's doing what Yordan Alvarez does when he's a fully healthy player. The home run party was in full effect. Ryan McMahon got a home run. I think Jazz Chisholm went deep for the first time. I know obviously a few others did as well. 27 runs in 3 games is impressive. That's 9 runs per game if you do the math, and it's dominant. When the offense is there and you get good starting pitching, you're going to win a lot of these games. And we looked at the road trip heading into it. You got a series against the Boston Red Sox. Then you head to Texas for the Rangers and the Houston Astros. And you look at it, and if they were able to take care of business, that shows they could be a solid team. And I know the AL as a whole has struggled, right? The only teams that I believe are above 500 are the New York Yankees, the Tampa Bay Rays, and that's really it. I mean, they have been solid, I have to say. Just looking at some things of the Yankees season, 20-11, first in the AL East. Ben Rice leading the team with an average of 327. Aaron Judge, 12 home runs. Ben Rice, 23 RBIs, and he also leads in the hitting category. But yeah, just looking at the standings real quick because I wanted to, keep on the standings topic. The Cleveland Guardians are 16-16. The Athletics are 16-14. The Mariners are 16-16. And like I said, the only teams that are above 500 are the Athletics, the Rays, and the Yankees. I wouldn't have predicted that if you thought about it. And the only 4 teams to have a positive run differential are the Yankees at plus 47. The Tigers are at plus 6. The Seattle Mariners at plus 7. And the Texas Rangers at plus 8. Some teams that have struggled. The Angels have dropped 6 straight. The Houston Astros are 11-19 this year, right? Toronto is eventually going to pick up their game. I fully believe that they've won 2 straight. They are 14-16. The Chicago White Sox have won 3 straight, so it's been interesting, right? That is an interesting start to the year for a lot of these teams. The Yankees are 3-3 against the AL East, 9-7 against the AL West, and 3-0 against the AL Central. So good for the Yankees. And then just looking at some other things, for them. They're 6-6 on day games and 14-5 on night games. They're 3-6 in one-run games, 0-1 in extra innings. So it's been an interesting start for the Yankees. 20-11. I'm still not satisfied with it. There's a lot that needs to still happen for the Yankees. They have the second best record behind the Atlanta Braves, and the LA Dodgers are tied at 20-11. But yeah, let's get into some other things as well, and not just talk about the Yankees. Let's talk about Cam Schlittler. This guy has been awesome for the New York Yankees. He is tied for first with 49 strikeouts. This guy just dominates. This guy, when you see that Cam Schlittler is on the mound following a great Max Fried signing, you love that for a series, for Game 1 and Game 2. These guys have been phenomenal for the Yankees. Max Fried had a great year last year. We knew that with Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon being injured, Max Fried had to carry a lot of the weight on his shoulders. But Cam Schlittler has taken a lot of it off of him. He has been phenomenal. This is probably the best 1-2 punch in baseball, I think, in the MLB, in my opinion. I think an honorable mention, you could say, is Yamamoto and Ohtani, but I think Schlittler and Fried have been a big reason for the Yankees' success. And, some other stuff. Cam Schlittler, a 168 batting average. That's 4th in the MLB. His 2.43 career ERA is the lowest by a Yankee starting pitcher through their first 21 games since 1968, minimum of 70 innings pitched. He's also one of the only pitchers in MLB history, and there's only 5 of them, that have had an ERA below 2.7, 120-plus strikeouts, and 40 or fewer walks. He joins Paul Skeens, Gary Nolan, Steven Strasburg, and the great Jacob deGrom. Round of applause for Cam Schlittler, man. You talk about a guy, when you give him the ball, he's going to give you everything you have, and he's going to just throw straight gas and right by you. And that is what Cam Schlittler is. There's so much to talk about him. You plug him in, assuming the rotation is eventually healthy. It would be Max Fried, Schlittler, Rodon, Cole, Warren. In order, it would be Fried Game 1, Schlittler Game 2, Cole Game 3, Rodon Game 4, Warren Game 5. Elmer Rodriguez and Ryan Weathers would go to the bullpen for that. But that's in another segment. Getting into Ben Rice, we knew what he did last year. I said he was going to be an all-star this year and the starter. He's got some company with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. having another solid year. So I think at the minimum that Ben Rice is going to be at least an all-star player. Maybe he doesn't start over Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but I do think he's going to play. He's top 3 in the AL in runs, RBIs, home runs, on-base percentage, slugging, and weighted on-base average, and a WRC+. 327 batting average, a 1.157 OPS. Cam Schlittler and Ben Rice are making a combined $1.6 million. They both make like $800K. And another thing is, when are the Yankees gonna extend Ben Rice? Right, he's 27 years old, got a great future. He hits the ball hard. He is an elite player. Like, I am as far to say he is heading towards superstar caliber. He is an elite player. You look at the contracts in the first base category, right? It's interesting how much they pay him, and I think if they get him on a great deal, it's going to work out really well. Just looking at some of the contracts, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his contract, $35.7 million per year. Bryce Harper, $25 per year. Chris Bryant, who hasn't been healthy, $26 million per year. And Pete Alonso, $31 million. Freddie Freeman, $27 million. Like I said, Bryce Harper. Matt Olson, $21 million. Christian Walker, $20 million. And I'm looking at some of the recent guys that got paid, obviously. Tyler Soderstrom, I believe, just got an extension, if I'm not mistaken. And he's a player that I think, he signed a 7-year, $86 million contract. So he's there for a while, and he's got a club option in 2033. I think this is probably the type of contract I hope the Yankees can get for Ben Rice, right? In the highest they're giving him is $19 million a year in 2032. But I think this is a contract I think the Yankees can potentially get him to. I think it's a good deal. I do. I think hopefully they can get him to a contract like that. But I also think a guy, I think they could honestly pay as high as Wilson Contreras per year, which is $17.5. I don't think he's going to get $20+ million. I don't think that, but I also don't rule it out. So we'll see what happens there. But, I'd probably make a prediction. I'd say he gets paid $18 million per year over 4 or 5 years. I would think he's 27, so I don't think they want to get to his age 35. So I think anywhere from 20, or I'd say anywhere from $18 to $23 million per year. But then again, you look at some of these contracts, right? If I sort all this, if you paid him $20 million, that would make him that'd be the 7th highest paid first baseman. So I think he'd probably get closer to a Soderstrom or Contreras, even maybe Josh Naylor, who's making 18.5. I don't know if Ben Rice would make 20 a year, but definitely something to monitor, because that is probably going to be the talk for the rest of the year, especially how good of a year Ben Rice is going to have. For Cam Schlittler-wise, I got no idea. Cam Schlittler is another one. If you look at his contract, you look at some of the highest paid ones. The highest paid one is $42 million, right? Garrett Cole is getting paid $36 million. So, Tariq Skubal making $32 million. So, you got to wonder how much Schlittler is going to get paid eventually. Max Fried making $27. Rodon making $27. So, but it's going to be interesting. And I guess to wrap it up, the upcoming schedule for the Yankees. Another thing too, Carlos Rodon making another rehab start. Garrett Cole in his third rehab start, 5 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs, 3 strikeouts, 60 pitches. Fastball is clocking in at 95. The upcoming schedule, they play 4 against Baltimore, all at home. Baltimore is playing a doubleheader today, and then they're playing the Yankees the next day. So they're going to be gassed. So I think the Yankees can take 3 out of 4 against the Baltimore Orioles. They take on Texas. They're going against DeGrom and Eovaldi again, so that might be a struggle of a series. And then they take on Milwaukee. I think the worst that the Yankees can go through the next 10 games is 5-5. I think they're going to go 7-3. I think they're going to go 7-3 for their next 10, which would put them at a pretty solid record overall. If you go 7-3, you're 27-14. So pretty solid record there. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.